You are alive. I'm live. Check me out. We living, we here, we body, you righty, and I'm not. That's how it be. Bars. You ever just dissect a sign? Signs are simple. For instance, the poop sign for your dog. You grab a little thingamajiggy, you scoop up the poop, and you put it in a receptacle. Simple. Then, nobody will step in your dog poop. It's logical. You know what I'm talking about? I want to talk about the CROSSroads. You know, it's no-brainer that I like certain genre of movies. There hasn't been one out as of late that has me really saying, I want to go see that movie. Or I want to see that movie. I like Constantine. Turns out he's an archangel. Who'd have thunk it? When I watched that movie for the first time with my biological father, he smiled while watching it. He probably thought I was going to be terrified, but I wasn't. I was interested. There is a part in that movie when the Manasi crosses into a different plane of existence, and wham! Something happens to him. Crossroads are dual in all directions. When you attempt to go to the crossroad, you don't know where you're going to end up after. Pretty self-explanatory. But some people feel like they are the puppeteer of the crossroads. Papa Legba begs to differ. You know, the one that you first asked to enter. Greetings, Victorious. I'll be working with you shortly. I got your message. You don't worry about that. The crossroads. Some of y'all are jumbling up information. You feel like you could cherry pick, like a gumbo. I'm not talking about vainglorious for future reference. I am talking about the ones that feel they are chefs with spirituality. You are not a gourmet chef when it comes down to the crossroads. I want you to go down the middle, because if you proceed down the middle path, you'll get what everyone wants you to get. You know what I'm talking about? But since I know that you're on the right side, that means they have access to you. So when you attempt to go to the crossroads on Wednesday again, you'll be somewhere all the way over there. And they'll be all the way over here with me. You see how that works? Because when I am just Isakani, there it is there. That means you're protected. Who'd have thunk it? Imagine stepping 1 foot into Dossifio and realizing that's not what you should have did. That's not what you should have did. You know what? Since I know that the conscious community is the gateway for that entrance, Some may not believe it, but it is, because I know of the heritage that you come from in the era. So that means you encountered someone new and decided you would do what they did. This person did, Vainglorious. And because they did it, I appeared. Look at that. Let me tell you about something. When I first encountered Papa Legba, he showed me that he was indeed real. After I spoke to Papa Legba, I seen signs of him everywhere. And now I'm aware that that means I went into a different plane of existence. And every time I was somewhere new, he showed himself. Now, those of you that are real initiates know that to be true because you see him. That means you were accepted. When you go to Papa Legba and you say, Asikinia, open the gate for me, he does not respond. He does not respond. Some of you don't know the proper protocol to access a spiritual gate. You don't just run up to a spiritual gate with your demands. You give offerings. I gave offerings for 2 years before I even thought about asking for anything. 2. The best organic fruit and liquor. I did not give them scraps of my dinner plate. When I gave my offerings, they got theirs first. You know what I'm talking about? The perfect piece of chicken. You feel me? Like they was my dude or something. You know how you just give your dude the perfect piece? That's how it go. I'm one of them. When I like you, I want you to think I'm a good cook. I am. But it's like something magically takes over me. I just come up with new recipes and they're always smacking. You know what I'm talking about? Now you can use smacking because you don't know how to interpret. You don't. Smacking means it's delicious. For those of you that are wondering what smacking, because you know how when something is delicious, some people tend to smack, you know. It's very irritating, but that's how you know it's good. It's tasty. Has seasoning in it. Like that spell. You know what I'm talking about? Some may say that when you use seasoning, it's toxic. Stuff like black pepper, peppercorns, and things of that sort. That means you don't like somebody. You know, me, I prefer spices, not roots. I like cinnamon, you know, brown sugar, chamomile. You know what I'm saying? I want it to smell good. Yeah. Put you a couple of cinnamon sticks in a pot. Boil it. You can't use that pot after, though, because something might happen to you, but I'm just telling you. You make that your spiritual pot. You know what I'm talking about? And not those herbs that you token. Because then it's inviting. I was the one that told you that after you use California white sage, you gotta follow up with Palo Santos. because you're only doing half the job. Some of y'all only got half the memo, and I'm trying to clear it up for you. So you don't open up no spiritual gate and end up in there permanently, like he did. You know what I'm talking about? Someone is saying, either knows how to do the do, either is a healer, either is a protector. The difference between me and the average person is I went with my family first. What that talks about is protection for my family, clearing karmic DEBT for those who have already passed over. So when it was my turn, it would be easy peasy. Now you understand why it's so difficult for you to get what you want, because you hopped off in a lane that was not for you. You believe that you could be Hathor, the initiate, not the original, and you can't. She comes off really inviting, right? I am aware that she is a Cancer. She comes off real inviting, but you can't do what she do because you don't know her PAIN. So back off. You know what I'm talking about? With Hathor, you use her name. And if you use it and you're not an initiate, then, poof. Spiritual gates and crossroads. The thing about when I'm interested in movies, it is because I've either been there or I'm supposed to see it because it's a part of my lineage. That's the difference. I'm not into the horror stuff. The horrific. I don't like the horrific. Because that's not my energy. When I look at movies like Constantine, I say, wow, that's how they get down. Because I know how to read in between Blasicatina, blurred lines. Of course, they're going to sensationalize archangels because that's what they do with magnificent beings. Now, while we're on the topic of beings, you do know that there's a difference between a supreme being and an ascended being. Just because you ascended does not mean you are supreme. That takes Kofasikanina. And you don't have that. And you possibly won't ever, because when you entered into that gate, and not Vainglorious Victorious T, I'm not talking about her, you got stuck. Those that are supposed to be there do not get stuck. They go in and out. Now you understand what multidimensional is. That means you are present in all of those dimensions, not just one. Because when you are not in a dimension, Ofakantina happens to you. And we're not going to discuss that because you are one of the ones that feel like no one sees me. So the information needs to be shared through you, not through the person. You do it all the time. This is how you learn your spiritual lesson. No hands, you see? No hands on them. Y'all feel me? Spiritual lessons. Because apparently, if no one sees him and her doing it, that means they didn't do it. This is not a Sakania. This is spiritual. Put all your hands where my eyes can see. You know what I'm talking about? There go those spiritual hands. Those finna kisses shikiti. That is it.